Welcome to this week's episode of Success in Women. I'm Linda.
I'm Andrea.
And today, always, I say this every week, Andrea, because I really find that our content is interesting for somebody. It is for us.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So,
we're learning every day.
That's right. So, Andrea's going to read her
The quote that I found.
her inspiration
My
of the day.
inspiration for our episode.
This week, yeah.
Anyways, it's by Ruben Chavez, and it says, "The person you will be in 5 years depends largely on the information you feed your mind today. Be picky about the books you read, the people you spend your time with, and the conversations you engage in."
And you know, Andrea, that goes along with what Buddha said, which is the mind is everything. What you think, you become.
Exactly.
So feeding into all of that with the books and all the other stuff.
People that you talk to on a day-to-day.
So this leads us into social media.
Oh, it's a curse and a blessing, really.
It really is. And one of the things we want you to know, we love social media.
Of course.
As long as you're learning.
As long as you're learning.
That's why we want you to tune in and why we want your friends to tune in, because we are trying to give you valuable information.
Right. Something good to listen to when you're maybe, have some free time, or, you needed some uplifting. We're here to do that for you. At least that's our goal. And that's what we hope we are doing.
And even when I go on to and do my searches on YouTube and all of those places, I find I'm getting not just the entertainment, but I'm getting something that I'm picking up.
Yes.
That may help me and Andrea to share with you.
Exactly.
So
I find so much right now I'm hooked on Mel Robbins. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can get that feeling. I'm just hooked on her. I love her Let Them theory. And if you haven't bought her book, maybe go and get out there and get it, or download it, whatever, however she has it out there. And to me, she's inspiring. I know her backstory and her struggles, and she just keeps going.
Well, and the thing is, Andrea,
she's learned a lot.
Most of us have had a lot of struggles in our life.
Definitely.
I mean, who goes through life that it's extremely smooth sailing?
No.
We talked earlier about Elon Musk, and he's a brilliant man, and he talks about the fact too, what you feed your mind.
Right.
But his mind is always learning, and he can project and visualize all these things that he wants to bring to life.
He says it's so chaotic in there, nobody would want to be in his brain, but he seems to be able to manage it and look at the genius he is and what he's created.
But what I was getting to, like Mel Robbins said, her backstory wasn't always smooth sailing. Well, neither was his.
Oh, his
was having, been raised with an abusive father and everything until the mom protected the kids and got them out of that environment. He didn't start off, being the person he is today.
No.
But imagine though, if you think back on what he was actually doing, how his mother encouraged her kids, that they were all very successful.
And she went back and got her doctorate in something, and she was modeling. She's 80-some years old. She's still
amazing.
Modeling. She's still modeling.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yes. So that negativity she put behind her and moved forward with her 3 children and just made their lives beautiful. So it can be done. You don't have to be fed the silver spoon or grow up in a happy home or a beautiful neighborhood. What you tell yourself you can accomplish and what you feed your brain matters.
So I was telling you earlier that many, many years ago when I started training into sales and I did my first training course, there were a number of books that were recommended. One of them was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Oh, yes.
And in his book, he said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve.
Wow.
And whether I got the first 2 in the wrong
Yeah.
order, it doesn't matter, but you have to believe it.
Right.
Okay? So you have to conceive the idea, but then you have to believe you can do it. But if you do and focus on that, you can achieve it.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful, those few words.
I know.
But it's the brain and how and what you're feeding it. So if you're on social media all day long and then you're posting or reading negative comments
Reacting to stuff.
and reacting,
some of the stuff you see on there is just ridiculous.
you gotta let a lot of it slide. If you're
And
gonna
why
focus
people
on that,
comment and say negative things, like what does that bring into your life? Nothing.
no.
You know, so
But I have to tell you, so my one of my sisters was on social media recently, and she just commented on something, and not in a negative way. Somebody had made, their little statement, and she just said, politically, she just said, like, the people have spoken, whatever it was, the majority ruled.
yeah.
Basically, just let it be, just accept that that's what it is.
And move on.
But people got so nasty that even though she did let it slide, she felt the need to tell me because people were so cruel on just her own opinion. And it wasn't even an opinion, it was kind of like fact. This is what
It's just
happened.
fact.
It was just fact.
And who are you to think that your opinion
Is
matters
better.
more than the person who said it? If somebody feels that, then okay, well, that's great, and move on. Well, I don't get it. I don't know why people feel the need to be nasty on social media, because everybody has an opinion, everybody has a life, everybody lives it the way they want, and like Mel says, let them.
Yeah.
So if they believe that, let them. You believe what you believe.
That's right, because that's what's in your control.
Yeah.
You don't have to let somebody take away your power because it's them. Right. Who are they?
Who are they?
I mean, really.
And that's what social media is doing right now to everybody.
It is.
It's creating chaos, as far as I'm concerned, in the negative. So there are some like us who I never comment on anything. I never say anything negative. If I see somebody comment
Andrea,
negative,
it's because we were taught very young.
Yes.
If you can't say something nice, don't say it at all.
Nothing at all. Exactly.
And
And I don't want to get into what they used to call what do they call it? A piss and fight or something, like a back and forth, back and forth. I don't want to get into that with you because you know what? You can't change people's minds.
No.
Let them do what they want. And you just go on believing what you're doing and living your life. And I was also listening to somebody the other night, and I can't remember who it was, and they were giving a lecture at a university. And when it came to break time,
I love that one.
yeah, it came to break time. She said, okay, we're going to break for 10, 15 minutes. Go grab a pop, go get a water.
Or a Coke.
Or
my pick-me-up for the afternoon.
Go to the washroom, discuss whatever. And she said, she dismissed them. Not one person got up from their chair. They all took out their phones and started scrolling and started trying to catch up with whoever. She was so upset. She said, excuse me, I did not mean for you to get on your social media. I meant for you to get up, get outside, go to the bathroom, get a pop, talk to your neighbor. She said none of them looked at each other. So what it's creating basically is they're not building a community. So when we were younger, we played with our friends. We knew who our friends were. We called each other. What are you doing? What are you doing?
We had no cell phones, so I do have to say.
You have to phone. But even when my daughters were at a certain age, they, as soon as they got home from school, oh, I want to go and play with so-and-so. I want to go play. Or they pick up the phone and talk to their friends.
But
that doesn't happen anymore.
Tell them what you told me about your grandson.
Oh. So, and like I was saying, this lack of community, lack of connection. So, a couple of days ago, or last week, it snowed really hard in my daughter's community. And my grandson wanted to go out and play with the kids upstairs because he plays with them quite often. But none of them wanted to go out and play in the snow. They wanted to play on their iPads because it was snowing out.
And we used to love those days when we were kids.
Oh my goodness! So he was so upset. He was mad. I was FaceTiming them, and I said so that he could hear me. I go, well, you know what? You have the right idea. You're the smart one. You're the one that wants to get out and play in that snow and have fun, not them. Well, then he kind of perked up and he felt a little better. And then I finished the conversation. The next picture my daughter sent me video was him outside with the shovel by himself. Little guy cleaning the path, you know, just out there enjoying it. But he should have been like we would have been, and my children would have been outside all together playing. Where we lived when my children were like 10, 11, 12, there was an empty lot between our house and my neighbor. And we were sort of like on a ravine, so the hill went. Let me tell you, the fun we had on that.
Well, you remember as kids, because even just at the end of your street, the one right down the hill, we'd go
right onto the lake.
We literally, somebody would water it down to make it icy, and we would take cardboard boxes.
Nobody had nice toboggans.
No, well, you wouldn't want the toboggan on the icy part.
No.
But we had a blast.
Exactly.
Kids don't know how to have fun anymore because the electronics are keeping them so freaking occupied with mindless stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's not feeding it.
What is Kim Kardashian doing today? What is Bieber up to? Like, they can't wait to find that out. Well, what does it matter to you?
It's not going to affect your life.
It's not going to help your life.
No.
It's not going to make you better. Unless you want to be a famous singer and you want to see how negative being a famous singer can be, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, true.
You know, that lifestyle is hard. But, you know, focus on yourself. And what can I do to better my life, to make my brain healthy? And that's another thing that Elon Musk
talks about, what you're feeding it.
Brain envy.
Yeah.
Like, we don't care enough about our brains. We just think, and the brain runs the whole body.
It does.
And we worry about other things, and we don't use our brain to help ourselves.
Well, and it's always been said, as long as I can remember, Andrea, we use maybe, if we're lucky, 10%.
I know.
Can you imagine? What the heck is going on with the rest of the 90% that you've got in there?
And it's funny,
the potential that you would have.
And I do see some of these people on social media that have delved into the vibration of music and how it affects the brain. And so there are people out there trying to, their life work is helping others use their brain and getting the most out of their lives. And instead of worrying about what the stars are doing or the athletes are doing.
Or when you post something and you read all the negative comments because people have nothing better to do than to be mean.
Now with Donald Trump getting
elected,
sworn into office.
Yes.
Oh,
there's still a lot of negative people out there.
Oh, so many. And like, really, you expect world peace and nobody can even accept the fact that somebody got elected and you know what is he going to destroy your life? No president has. Like, this is the 47th president, and the United States is still standing, still doing pretty good. You know, like, they say words like Hitler and dictator. Come on, that just doesn't happen. You know, but they want to incite.
Yes, they want to incite you, and if you let that in,
so
you're going to be ruining your own life because you're not focusing on the things that you can.
I'm doing it too. I rarely do this.
the things that you can control. You know, when people got to vote, great. That was the end of what they could control.
Yeah.
Now the voting has been settled.
Done.
You've got your president. Accept it because it may or may not have been your
choice.
Candidate. That's fine. You get to choose. But now you got to move on.
Move on.
And then the things that you don't want to accept, change that part in your life. If you can control it, and you can change it, that's what you do.
Yeah.
But also you got to change the attitude of being negative because everybody else is. And it could be the news, it could be the social media that you spend too much time filtering in all this stuff that negative. And then you got to go out in the real world and be positive?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
No, you can't. And you end up being miserable. Why do you want to be miserable?
Right.
You know, and most of the stuff that goes on, unless you're in politics, how's it going to run your life? Like, you know, some of the things that he's going to put in place will benefit some, not benefit others. But you know what?
You got to adjust.
You have to adjust. And you'll be happier, less miserable. And the people around you.
Letting people do, just letting them.
I
as
don't
Mel
want to
said.
listen to these people nagging and complaining and whatever.
And that's the other thing. Don't tune in. If
tune
you
in.
don't want to hear it, don't tune in. Don't tune in and then complain.
That's right. That's right. I don't know. It's a crazy world.
It is a crazy world, but I have to tell you,
we have
Andrea,
to really learn how to navigate.
we went out to dinner, a group of us. It was one of Andrea's very close friends' birthday. But I have to tell you, everybody there was present.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't one time that I looked up and I saw any of the people around the table. They were all conversing, and we had two tables like close together with a little bit of a space so we could both focus because we didn't have one big round one. But people were talking. People were enjoying the whole evening without once pulling off a phone, other than to take pictures.
Yes.
No phones were coming where they were scrolling down social media because that was more important than being present for the party.
Exactly. And that's how you feel when you see, you know, people pulling out their phones or
constantly. Even in restaurants, you can look around.
Oh, and it bothers me when I'm talking to somebody and all of a sudden, oh, hang on. And they, you know, they heard a beep. Oh, hang on.
I got to see what this is.
Yeah, got to see what this is. Like, come on.
You're not a doctor on call. You shouldn't be looking at your phone because you hear a beep.
Exactly. I mean, it's nothing that can't wait, at least until that part of that conversation is over. Like,
I don't like it in a restaurant, I have to tell you. I really don't think. When we didn't have phones, we got along and we survived perfectly fine. And all of a sudden, it seems like no matter what, people can't miss it. I go to conferences all the time, and in the audience, I'll watch, and people are there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wait a minute, why did you bother going there for that?
How are you getting anything out of this?
Yeah. You can't possibly. And when Elon is talking about brain envy, our brains are envious of other brains that are actually getting fed more.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. And that's what I'm saying. If you're going to be on social media, at least learn something.
So tune into our show.
Our show and other shows like YouTube has anything you want to learn about.
Yes.
A new language.
Yes.
You want to learn about the planets, or you want to learn something else.
There's no end.
There's no end to what you can learn. And then you get caught up in that, which is beautiful, because just like you do with Instagram, you know, all this silly stuff, you start getting into these YouTube things.
And they'll give you more and more of that topic.
That's what I love.
I know.
And you start learning. I'll be, next thing I know, it's like 2 hours later, and I'm still learning about the one thing I Googled that I listened to. And then I said, oh, I'm going to listen to that too. Oh, I'm going to listen to that too.
Well, it's interesting.
And it gets addictive.
Yes, because I was going to say it's interesting because I was trying to figure out years ago, I used to use a teleprompter. And I know that in most places where you go, they're all using teleprompters. And I thought, you know, for our show, I wonder if we could do that. And I started Googling and watching YouTube videos on how you can do that. It was kind of interesting. And but we're not using the teleprompter right now. And the odd time we'll pull up the iPad if there's something we want to, you know, make sure that we cover off for you. But other than that, it's all ad lib. But, you know, we enjoy, obviously, talking, and we enjoy sharing, though. And that's what we hope that you continue to share and watch our videos.
Exactly. We want you to wake up inspired.
Yeah, we want to keep feeding your brain
positive,
the good stuff.
Feed it with positivity. And that was another thing. I can't remember who was talking, and they said when they wake up, the first thing they do is tell themselves beautiful things, positive things. Oh, it's a beautiful day today, and I'm gonna have a great day today. I'm choose to be happy today.
You know,
they do that every day.
Yeah, but I told you, I always, first
Yeah,
thing I
you
do
have
is,
your-
I look in the mirror and say, God, you look good today. And I may not to anybody else, but it doesn't matter. It's my
Doesn't
opinion
matter.
that counts.
And it's your brain
That's getting it.
soaking it in
Yes.
and saying, yeah, you're gonna have a happy day today.
Because you look great,
yeah,
girl.
you know, the brain
Yeah.
runs the whole body. Feed it good stuff, even good food. You know?
Well, it's interesting. I had a call from a client, and he said, so how are you doing? I said, unbelievable. He goes, what happened? I said, well, nothing. I get to talk to you. I said, that's a good thing, isn't it? He goes, yeah, I guess so.
I told somebody last week or something, I was talking with some people, and I don't know what the person said. They were like, oh, yeah, you know, humdrum. And I said, you know what? You gotta be more positive, more uplifting. I said, you know, I call my girlfriend Linda, and when she answers the phone, I say, hey, Linda, how you doing? She said, unbelievable. I go, at first I said, what happened? The same thing.
Yeah,
but now I know what it's about. And the minute I hear that, it automatically picks me up. So the way you talk to others too matters. So, you know, it'll change their mood.
Absolutely.
Change
They can
their
do
mood.
that.
Yes. You know, it was like even with my grandson, with being so
Yeah.
sad, I could have said, oh, don't be such a baby. Don't be. No, I said, wow, you're the smart one, Arlo. You're the one that is thinking right. Well, I picked him right up. He got up from the sofa and we started talking. You know, so the way you talk to others and yourself matters.
Yeah, especially with how you
Remember
talk
that.
to yourself. Because
Yeah.
they know that self-talk, they've talked about it a lot
Yes.
over the years. That's really important for feeding your brain.
It is.
Because don't tell yourself you can't do something or you're not good enough. Tell
No,
yourself how
never.
great you are
Every
and
day.
why you
Every
can do
day.
whatever you set your mind out.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Success in Women. And if you did,
Please like it
share it.
and subscribe. You won't regret it.
No, and we need the thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
So until next week, I'm Linda.
I'm Andrea. Bye.
Bye.